What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me is Tyler. Tyler, we have a hell of a game to talk about tonight. How are you doing tonight?
A lot better now, man. I thought it was going to be another night of having to talk a little bit poorly, but look, this team's not perfect by any stretch. The bats, there's a lot of work to do, but tonight was gritty, man. It was a gritty win. They didn't do a lot of things well, but they fought to the end, and it was the unusual suspects that came through. Just, man. I think grit's just the theme of the night. They've battled through this one, and they had to. It's huge to get this win.
I think that's a good way to put it. They battled, they fought. This was a game that, based on how the offense was performing early on, they didn't really have much business being in this game. But great pitching performance from Paul Skenes, as we're used to by now. And the offense came through in the second half of the game to win 5-3 over the Houston Astros. So, guys, you know what that means. Put hashtag raise it in the comments. That means you're in a giveaway for 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches. Yeah, man, what a game. So yeah, get those comments in. We're giving away sandwiches, but holy crap, 54-52. The Pirates moved to 2 games over 500 today. Gosh, what a
There's
game.
A lot to get
it was just an enjoyable game. That Michael A. Taylor homer, he crushed that ball. And like I said, we'll get into all of this, but man, I jumped off my seat. I jumped out of my seat when he hit that ball and just started yelling. It was one of those times to scare the dog again. Like these Pirates keep making me scare my dog. So, but before we get into everything, let me tell you about BetOnline. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. I kind of want to start talking about this one in the 6th inning. Yeah. The Pirates were being no-hit through 5 by Taylor Scott and Caleb Ort. They were pitching a no-hitter through 5 innings. This was a bullpen game. The Astros starter from today got traded about an hour before the game started. So the Astros had to kind of scramble, put together this bullpen game, and it was working. It was working early on. Again, the Pirates were held hitless through their first 5 innings. But then Yasmani Grandal, who, hey, we have given out our fair share of Yasmani Grandal criticism on this show. But he comes through. He launches a homer, his 4th of the year, in the 6th inning to put the Pirates on the board. And then on top of that, just to kind of spend a little bit of time on Grandal here, he played a good game defensively too. Came up with a big caught stealing that ended an inning throughout. It was Altuve at second base. So, hey, credit when credit's due. He came through today when you needed him to. There were a few at bats you wish he could have executed on later in the game, but his teammates ended up picking him up. But this is what you need out of Grandal or game. Like, you need him to hit the ball over the fence every now and then.
Yeah, especially because I think we thought he was a guy, at the very least, you'd get 10 to 15 home runs out of him, or maybe 10, but you would get a good walk rate. We're not getting that either. And the defense has been adequate, but not maybe as high level as we would have hoped for him. That home run was huge, man. You could tell during these at-bats and the whole team, it just felt like they were pressing. Did it not just feel like they were a little bit tight at the plate? We saw them almost look a little lost, swinging early in counts, going deep in the counts and taking good pitches to hit. Everyone looked like they're just trying to do it by themselves. And you just need, it's like basketball. You just need to see one fall.
Mm-hmm.
And he got one over the wall, and then, you chip away at it. And that's what they did tonight.
It's a good point. I mean, yeah, the offense, the entire offense, I mean, it was a perfect game through 5 that these pitchers put up against this Pirates offense. And you could tell everybody was pressing. Paul Skenes was great, and we'll get into his start. But he 2 runs get given up. Should have been 0 if a double play would have been made. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, the offense was pressing. I mean, they were getting nothing done. They were striking out against Scott a lot, and Scott looked like objectively he looked pretty nasty, especially against righties. But then Ort comes in, and you're just like, we should be able to hit this guy. And Grandal finally did that, and then that opened things up. So I mean, let's talk about. So the 6th inning, Skenes gets out of the 6th, scoreless. So that leaves it at 2-1. Carmen Majinski pitches a scoreless 7th. And then that leads us to the 8th. And the Pirates were able to tie it up in the 8th. Jared Triolo started off with a double, and you thought that they were going to just do the same thing again. Like Yasmani Grandal, poor at bat. He strikes out. Doesn't get the runner moved over. Michael A. Taylor ground out to shortstop. Doesn't get the runner moved over. Brian Reynolds ends up walking. And then O'Neal Cruz, who has just come up huge in big moments, it seems like over and over and over again for the past month or so. He hits a 119.3 mile per hour double to tie the ball game up in the 8th, 2-2. He crushed that ball.
He did. And I think one of the more impressive parts is that his at-bats prior to that were bad. I didn't think he looked good at all at the plate tonight.
No one looked good at all the first half.
And no, they didn't. But I mean, with what we've seen out of Cruz lately, I think we've seen a lot more competitive at bats. It looked a lot more like early season Cruz. He's just swinging at junk, getting in bad counts. But he was able to have the short memory and just absolutely hit a piss missile, man. What was it, 119?
119.3.
Crazy. It was a rocket. It was almost so hard that it was almost tough to score. He hit it so hard.
Well, when he hit the ball, he hit the ball so hard that the camera, if you notice, like the camera had to switch so fast. The camera had to switch to the ball before the swing was even done, because the ball was like hitting the right field fence by the time his follow through was happening. So it was pretty crazy there. A really ridiculous statistic here, by the way. O'Neal Cruz has 5 batted baseballs hit over 119 miles per hour this season. That's more than the rest of Major League Baseball combined.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Because there are some dudes that can hit a baseball really hard.
That's crazy. Like that was the 7th hardest hit ball in the majors. Cruz also has the 6th hardest, the 3rd hardest, the 2nd hardest, and the 1st hardest. So like it's just incredible what he's doing, and he's just been on fire. He's had a hell of a June. And you needed him to come through, because we were talking about like this offense needs someone to step up, and he has stepped up this July. Just a great month, and you hope that he's just finally turning that corner to being like the superstar that we hope he can be. And if that's the case, then that is infinitely valuable to this offense.
Yeah, and the nice thing right now is early in the year we were talking a lot about how hard he hits baseballs and where he ranks in StatCast. Now we're seeing the results with it. Like, we're creeping up on an 800 OPS now, 776 after this game. You said it. His month has been outstanding, and you're seeing the results finally. So now when we talk about the Baseball Savant page, we can actually talk about he's really good too.
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers going into today as far as his July goes. I can pull them up here, but let's see. In July, he is going into today. He was hitting 306, 363 on base percentage, 625 slugging percentage. That's a 988 OPS for July, a 167 weighted runs created plus. So, yeah, like those are awesome numbers. Yeah. Those are awesome numbers. Those are like Brian Reynolds June numbers right there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good. Yeah, good stuff from Cruz.
Yeah, you need to have.
Yeah. So he ties the game up in the 8th inning. Aroldis Chapman comes in, and I want to take a second to talk about Chapman because he's been a topic lately. The Pirates did acquire Jalen Beeks today from the Colorado Rockies, lefty reliever, and I think a lot of people when they acquired Beeks were like, I wonder if this means that you can start shopping Chapman now and address some other needs. If this team is serious, Tyler, I don't think you can justify trading Aroldis Chapman. He's been too valuable to this team. There are games where he frustrates the hell out of you, right? He can be frustrating, no doubt. But he's on he's going through these stretches. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games where he's put up a 0, and I just have a feeling that he's just been way too valuable that you can't move him. Like you've got to move something else. If you want to go find a bat, you got to find something else.
I agree with you. I think tonight's the perfect example of it. And it's not just Chapman tonight either. The bullpen in totality kept them in this baseball game because it easily could have got ugly. The Astros are a really good lineup. Every at-bat's a battle. And the bullpen really did shut the door aside from Bednar being a little bit shaky, but they kept them in the game. And you need Aroldis Chapman if you want to be involved in the playoff mix. You need that guy in the 7th or 8th inning.
Well, I think too, if you want to actually, once you getting into the playoffs is one thing, but then also like 1 year in the playoffs, he's a super valuable guy to have back there. Because he can just be like he was today and just shut down a lineup. Like, I mean, he faced the heart of Houston's order, and the only base runner he gave up was a broken bat single to Yordan Alvarez. So he's been outstanding lately. You can criticize the move. You can think the Pirates were probably could have spent that money on a different position, right, and gotten more value out of him. But for what it is, he's been good. He's been solid when they've needed him to come through.
Yeah, I mean, he's turned it on lately. He looks like a completely different guy. He looks like the Aroldis Chapman you expected when you signed him.
Yep. Top of the 9th inning. So Chapman pitches the scoreless 8th. It's 2-2 heading into the 9th. You mentioned you have this tendency, Tyler, where every time you do a post-game show, there's either like a rain delay or we go to extra innings. And you hate that because as far as for those who don't know, Tyler is like you're 31 years old.
I'll be 31 soon.
31-year-old man living in like a 70-year-old body, basically. Because 70-year-old man living in a 31-year-old body. Because your perfect evening is like going to bed at 9 p.m.
Oh, easily.
You love that.
Love it.
The extra
inning game is perfect for me.
The extra inning games, you like those like specials where you can grab your dinner at like 3:30, grab your prime rib dinner, at 3:30, go watch the game, and then and then when the game's over, you can just tuck yourself into bed, right?
Exactly.
So tonight was not one of those nights. We thought this was going to extra innings, but then to start the 9th, Brian Hayes walks. Connor Joe, rough at bat, he strikes out. But then Jared Triolo walks. This is all off Josh Hader, by the way, who, kind of similar to Chapman, right? Where like he can be dominant when he's on, but when he's off, he can also be pretty wild. So he gives up the walk to Hayes, gives up the walk to Triolo. Yasmani Grandal flies out. And then your boy, the guy you said that come June, you're all gonna hate, Michael A. Taylor. You said you're gonna be saying I was right. You're going to all hate Michael A. Taylor. But guess what, Tyler? You didn't mention that come end of July, we would be loving some Michael A. Taylor. He hits a 3-run, 421-foot homer, puts the Pirates up by 3, a monster shot. It's his biggest moment of the year.
You know, I've always been a big Michael A. Taylor guy.
Always.
I really like what he brings to you defensively. I like the power in the bat, good clubhouse presence. And I really do wish that everyone would have listened to me and just stick with me. Like when I talk about Michael A. Taylor and how you're going to love him in July. Oh, I guess I did that in the group text, not on the podcast. We'll just say that.
I don't think you said that.
But that was a nuke, man.
He crushed it.
He ran into one, and not just that, but he made a really nice play defensively in the bottom of the ninth as well. What a tough ball. A really good night for Michael A. Taylor. Again, an unusual suspect coming through. And it goes back to hitting balls over the wall. It's a difference maker. That hit 2 tonight. When you're struggling, you have to homer. Tonight it happened, and you're able to scrap together 5 runs.
Yeah, it just shows you that hitting the ball over the fence is a valuable thing. I say it over and over and over again. Like, you need guys to hit the ball over the fence, and this team hasn't been able to consistently do it. But you see today just like how valuable it is. The Astros hit 0 balls over the fence today. The Pirates hit 2 balls over the fence today. Pirates won, right? Plain and simple. That was the difference. It was just 2 swings of the bat. That was the difference in today's game. The Astros pitched well. They had a pretty good game overall. You know, they made Skenes work a little bit, and we haven't even gotten to Skenes yet. But it's all that matters is scoring runs, and the easiest way to score a run is to hit a ball over the fence. Oh, great job! I mean, Michael A. Taylor came in for Joshua Palacios. Palacios got pulled from the game in the middle of the game. Looked like a hamstring injury. So Taylor comes in. He goes 2 for 3 with that huge 3-run homer. David Bednar, pretty shaky in the 9th. Gives up 2 walks, gives up 2 hits, gives up a run. But he shuts it down for his 19th save of the year. A huge win. Like we talked about on Starbucks this morning, that the losses are going to be really, really painful, but the wins are going to be really, really fun. And tonight was really, really fun.
Yeah, it was. And also, you didn't waste a Paul Skenes start. That feels really good as well to add on top of that. Getting back to 2 games above 500, that's huge. And also just getting the first game of the series. It puts you in so much better of a position.
Yeah. Winning this game, like we talked about it, this series, like you've got to win this game, because tomorrow you most likely have, I don't think they've announced anybody just yet, but you probably have Bailey Falter going tomorrow, some sort of Bailey Falter, Luis Ortiz combination, and then Martin Perez on Wednesday. So winning today was very important. And yeah, huge game, come from behind win. Just, you love to see it. Love to see it.
Much needed.
Before we shift focus to Skenes, because I know we want to talk about him. The defense today wasn't great. Brian Hayes made an error.
Yeah.
O'Neal Cruz made an error. Paul Skenes, they gave Paul Skenes an error on a pickoff attempt, but it seemed like a perfect throw, really, to Rowdy Tellez that ended up bouncing down into the corner, and the runner advanced to third on it. So, yeah, defense was suspect tonight. Brian Hayes' error proved to be pretty costly because bases were loaded, ground ball hit to
charging
him.
an error on that?
They did charge him an error on that.
Originally, I think they gave him a hit, and then they must have went in and changed it.
Yeah, so they charged Hayes with the error. You could, I mean, maybe a bad hop on him, but just a play that it's a play you're used to Brian Hayes making, right? But if he fields that cleanly, that's an inning-ending double play, and you know the Astros have 0 runs on the board, which makes this game a little bit easier. But that leads to 2 runs. Skenes gets out of it with just the 2 runs given up. But yeah, defense not great. But I will say this: base running today, Base running was huge. They stole 5 bases today.
Yeah, they were aggressive. Even I think it was the 9th inning, they had the double steal with 2 outs. I love that move. If they're giving you that, and especially it didn't end up working out that way, but you have Michael A. Taylor up. And before I get to all that, actually, Derek Shelton managed a great game again. He did. We have to give him his flowers here. He did a great job today. But back to that situation, you have first and second with 2 outs. Double steal there, you have second and third all of a sudden. Michael A. Taylor runs well. An infield single, you score a run there all of a sudden. Just by being able to move up 90 feet. Like little things like that they did today, that's a difference maker.
Yeah. Yeah, they did the little stuff. There was, and it was a time, like it wasn't every time. Like there were times that they didn't execute. But yeah, a well coached game by Shelton. He pulled the right strings when it came to the bullpen. He's able. He does these things where like this lineup, you look at it and you're like, these guys aren't going to give us anything. I'm starting to shift a little bit towards maybe Shelton isn't all that bad. I'm serious.
Neil
like,
get to you, man.
Yeah, I'm letting Neil rub off on me, but yeah, like I'm getting to the point where like maybe he's not all that bad. Like this team is 54-52, and this offense is pathetic. It's pathetic, and somehow Shelton has like done enough to get these guys over 500. They have a negative run differential. So like that right there, the record is better than their Pythagorean record, which just shows me like he's doing something right, because the math doesn't math up here. Like the Pirates shouldn't be where they are.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned the lineup there, but you look at the bench, there's nothing else you can play. Like there's no other options other than what he played today. And also he had 2 guys go down with an injury. We didn't even mention that part of it, that 2 guys go down and they're playing with a short bench. But you know what made me just smile a little bit? After the Michael A. Taylor home run, they cut to that dugout shot. You see Derek Shelton climb the dugout fence, Joey Bart holding him up there. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this guy, man. I kind of like this guy.
I'll say this too, like he's William puts on here, dare I say, urgency from Shelton. He has coached he has managed these last couple games like he's had to win them. He's someone on Twitter said something like he managed yesterday's game like a kid who's about to lose a video game to his little brother for the first time. Like you're just like pulling out all the stops. You're like, this isn't going to happen. Like that's what he did yesterday. Right. And it worked with Rowdy and Bart. Today, same thing. Everything he did worked. I forget who said that, but it was a good line. It made me chuckle there.
It's almost like he's pushing Ben Sherrington. Come on. I need you to make a few moves here.
He's like the fact that this team is where they're at is a testament to him. And I'm not really going to say his coaching staff, because like the hitting coach could probably be doing a little bit better here. But I mean, as it stands right now at 11:30 p.m. on Monday, July 29th, with the trade deadline 18 and a half hours away, the Pirates are 2 games above 500 and 2 games out of a playoff spot with 2 months to go.
Look,
they're in it.
It's hard not to at least point at the clubhouse, maybe not the coaching in general, but the clubhouse and how it's been handled throughout this year, and not say that's a big part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff there. You mentioned the injuries. Let's just talk about that, because they are going to have to address this. Joshua Palacios got pulled with what looked like an apparent hamstring injury. I'm trying to see if there's anything official. I think the team posted. So Joshua Palacios was removed due to left hamstring discomfort. And then also Ji-Hwan Bae was trying to beat out a bunt, did this thing where he tried like jumping 8 feet in the air, and then he landed awkwardly. He got removed from the game due to left knee discomfort. It didn't look good. Ji-Hwan Bae actually needed help off the field to get off the field. So that didn't look good. So that's 2 out. You already needed outfield help and 2 of your outfielders got hurt tonight. Not ideal, right? So for the short term, I mean, if even if Ben Cherington goes out there and makes a trade tonight, you probably aren't getting anybody to the game by tomorrow. So you're going to have to now go to Indianapolis and call up Sawinski or Olivares. Like that's probably what you got to do at this point, at least for tomorrow, right? And see if you can address it some other way. But that was rough because, like I said, those are 2 positions they already needed somebody, and now they need somebody even more.
Yeah, poor Sawinski. He just can't get in the rhythm in AAA. Every time he gets sent down, he has to be called back up. It's every time.
Sawinski would probably rather have the major league service time and paycheck, would be my guess.
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, poor us.
Yeah. Gorski, another one. Steel CDW says Gorski. I don't know. I mean, you maybe want to try to give someone another shot, but yeah, those are your options right now internally until you can figure out what to do to bring in some help. All right. Let's talk about the starting pitcher. It was Paul Skenes Day today. Large LSU contingency in the crowd tonight in Houston, not too far down Interstate 10. So he had some fans on his side, but he just did what Paul Skenes does. He looked great again. 16 swings and misses. He goes 6 innings. He gives up just 1 earned run. His ERA on the year is 1.90 through 13 starts. He struck out his 100th batter of the season today. I think it was the 5th or 6th person to do that through 13 starts ever. And he didn't even look good today. Like he walked 3 batters, he gave up 5 hits, but like he's so good that when he's not dominating, he's still putting up stat lines that make you go, this guy's really good.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And you knew it was going to be a battle for him tonight because the Astros are tough to strike out. It's a good offense. They've got dudes up and down the lineup. And to me, it almost looked like he was trying to be a little bit too precise with everything because everything was pretty competitive, but it also seemed like he was nibbling just a touch. And as the game went on, if I get a little nitpicky here, I would have liked to see him mix the 4-seamer in a little bit more. He really, really relied on the splinker and the slider today. And I don't know, it's probably a scouting report thing with the Astros that they just crush fastballs and struggle with stuff like that. But I would have liked to.
They got the trash cans.
True. That is very true. But I would have liked maybe in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, mix more fastballs in. There was a stretch where he was only throwing like 4 an inning. He's ramped it up a little bit in the 6th, but still, he stayed away from the fastball the majority of the night. Again, I'm probably being a little bit nitpicky. He goes 6 innings, gives up 1 run. He probably doesn't give up a run if the correct call gets made on the at bat against, who was it? Can't even remember. Was it Myers or I can't remember. Yeah, Myers.
Yeah.
But like I said, would have just liked to see him mix the fastball a little more, maybe challenge every now and then, but still a good outing from him.
Yeah, I mean 6 innings, 1 earned run. Like you'll take that. You'll take that every time. That's a 1 point. It's a 1 point. My math is right here. It's a 1.50 ERA. So yeah, really, really strong start from him. You mentioned the fastball. I think Statcast was a little off today because it didn't catch. It wasn't catching his splinker. It was registering everything as a sinker.
Yeah.
But as far as his slider goes, 7 swings and misses on 18 swings. Fastball only 1 swing and miss on 10 swings. So yeah, it was just something. The Astros were just on that 4-seamer today, and he was able to keep them off balance with the slider and the splinker. The splinker generated 7 swings and misses. So yeah, he was mixing up his pitches. 34 sinkers / splinkers, 28 sliders, 28 4-seamers, 8 curveballs, 3 changeups. So yeah, he mixed in a lot of his pitches today, and yeah, despite not having maybe his best stuff,
We're saying that again.
we're saying that again. Just like I said, but also he like was throwing the ball 99 to 100 the entire game.
Yeah.
He's still he's still a really, really good outing. He's so damn special.
He is.
He's so good.
He is.
Someone Steel City DW here, like, when do we start talking about, like, when does it start getting like not crazy to say Paul Skenes is in the conversation for NL Cy Young?
At the very least, I think he's in your top 2 betting favorites going into next year.
Yeah. As of right now, he's actually number 2.
Well, there we go.
For this year.
Okay,
and
he's probably number 1 next year.
Dude's only made 13 starts. So you got to imagine, yeah, it's been incredible watching him pitch this year, and it was cool that he lined up in Houston so that, you know, his college fans can go see him. So
that is LSU fans are crazy, but it's kind of
they really
cool.
are.
It's cool the way they follow him, because I can't think of a single Big Ten school that's going to follow a baseball player around like they are with Paul Skenes right now.
No. You think Ohio State fans are flocking to
Heck
Comerica Park today to see Dylan Dingler?
No.
No?
They don't know that he went to Ohio State.
All right. Well, huge game, 5-3 win. Do we want to give away some sandwiches?
Yeah. Let's give away some sandwiches.
Let's do that. We're at 137 entries, so give everybody just a few moments to get in your hashtag raise it, just like Cole right here. Hashtag raise it. It can be lowercase, it can be uppercase, it can be a mixture of both if you want it to, but it's got to look like this. It's got to be hashtag raise it. That's going to get you in the drawing for 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches. We're at 140 entries so far, so keep them coming while you are putting those final raise it's in. Also, make sure you just hit the like button on the video. If you could do that, go ahead, do that. If you haven't subscribed to the page, do that as well. We appreciate everyone watching live. We appreciate everyone watching this after the fact. We appreciate everybody listening to this on the podcast, you know, on your way to work tomorrow. So you guys are the best. Let's go ahead and give away some sandwiches. Why don't we?
Let's do it.
Drum roll, please. Ivan, congratulations, Ivan. You have just won 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches. You know what to do as far as that goes. You can either DM the North Shore 9 account on your favorite social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even Threads, I guess, is a thing that we have. So whatever you want to do, go ahead and DM us, and we'll get those out to you. Or you can email us at northshore9@gmail.com. But congratulations, Ivan. I think that's a new winner.
I think it is too. Congratulations. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Big win. I think the Diamondbacks are losing, so there's a possibility the Pirates can sneak a little bit closer to them as well. But tomorrow, we have not seen a starter be announced just yet. I'm going to guess, again, it's Bailey Falter or Luis Ortiz, or a mixture of both. But we'll be back here tomorrow with another post-game show. Hopefully, we're talking about a series win in Houston.
Yeah, we'll probably be on sometime after the trade deadline and discussing whatever happens.
That's true, too. If you haven't checked it out, we did do an emergency podcast for the Nick York trade. We're not going to do an emergency podcast for Jalen Beeks. I'm sorry, all you people who were like dying for Jalen Beeks content. We're not going to give that to you. But the plan is tomorrow, right around the trade deadline, we're going to have a show just kind of recapping the deadline. So hopefully the Pirates do more stuff here in the next 18 hours. We've got some cool trades to talk about, so we can get excited about the second half of this season.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. Nobody's getting any work done.
Let's hope so. All right. Well, guys, we appreciate you all. Thanks again. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, But if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.